Now, welcome back to the show. With Iha Hauna almost upon us, we've decided to delve into tales of an animal associated with spooky happenings.
Yes, our resident folklorist Shane Lahan is here to tell us all about the cat in Irish folklore. But Shane, can we start with the cat's connection to Iha Hauna, to Halloween?
We're at that junction, aren't we, of the year? You know, the other world is full of things which were wild, untamable, small, at night time and so on. Long ago it was the hare around Boughton, around May Day. At Samhain, it's always the cat, because the cat is untamable, you know? And the cat, people used to think long ago that old women, the Kylocks, the hags as they were called, or the witches, they had the ability to turn into cats. In fact, what's really interesting is that they could only do that 9 times, okay? 9 times in their lifetime, and one of the times they always did it was in around Halloween. And there was a whole kind of idea that they would steal from you, they would take things. Long ago when they'd come in, like say the cat was mad for the milk in around the churn or anything like that, it was lapping away. That would be the cat taking away the milk, take away the butter. So the ability for someone to turn into a cat, and a black cat, an all black cat without any white on it whatsoever, that was always the association. Long ago. There would be dogs long ago, and they would hunt and they would catch the cat, as it were, injure it, and they would jump into a house. And when they go into the house, when they go inside, there would be the woman inside, and maybe her leg bleeding and so on. She had changed over. So those stories are all over the folklore record. They're everywhere. Yeah. It's fantastic.
It's mad, and it dates back to so long, and then it lasts, it endures, where we still associate black cats with bad luck then.
With bad luck. Well, we'll go back as well. In Egypt, for example, the whole thing about the cat being in the other world is kind of really interesting as well. People revere the cat, and of course they mummify the cats there as well. In the past, you've plenty of examples of those. And what I think is really interesting about them is that
they mummified cats there, Shane.
They're mummified cats, yeah. And what's interesting is that when people in Egypt, when their cat died, they used to, believe it or not, they used to shave off their eyebrows. That was the way they mourned their cat. And they would stay in mourning until their eyebrows grew back again. That was one of the great traditions and focuses. But go back to the charms for me, because back in Ireland, we'll move back to Ireland for a moment. You know, cats used to do all sorts of things. There was all sorts of ways of looking after them. One was that if people wanted to change the weather, they'd put a cat under a barrel, okay, and the cat would start roaring and screaming. And a lot of women used to do that because it would make the sea go wild, and they wouldn't want their men to be going back out to sea fishing or anything like that. So you had all these pishogues using the cats in those sort of ways.
Poor cat was traumatised under the barrel.
Sometimes cats would be cleaning themselves, they'd be licking themselves, you know, and they'd stop and they'd stare at you, you know, and that was a big sort of thing. Young girls on go, if they thought the cat was staring at them, they meant, oh, I'm going to get married. It was something positive. If it was an old lad and he saw the cat looking at them, it meant he was going to die fairly soon. So, you know, the cats, everyone read into all those things about the cats in the past.
So if you're older, you just literally didn't look at the cat in case it looked back at you.
But was that black cat or any cats?
Okay, so one of the things, it's mainly black cats, okay? So in the tradition, everything I've read anyway about any cat of any other colour, they're fairly positive. But the witches and the ones that change are usually the black cats. But there's a white cat, a famous white cat in our tradition. And it's lovely. This is Pangur-Bán. Pangur. And do you know what? I thought it might be nice, just as we never get the chance, just to hear a bit of the poem that was written. This poem goes right back into the 9th century, okay? And this a bit in Old Irish, if they'll forgive me up in college for reading it so badly. Mesa agus Pangur-Bán, Cochter, Nátar, Free Hand-On, Bí a Memsa Free Shellig, Muma Machin in Shan Carrith. Myself and my cat, Pangur-Bán, 'tis a like task that we're at. Hunting mice is his delight. Hunting words is my old craft.
Yeah.
So,
did that come from? Is that the original script?
That's the original manuscript there. It's written and fantastic by an Irish scholar, an Irish scribe. This one written in St. Gall in Switzerland in the 9th century. And it tells me one important point. It tells me that cats were a big part of the Christian story. Because one of the things we know is they come from Egypt. And one part of the Christianity in Ireland, the Dysart, if you like, it brings cats into Ireland from that part of the world. So I always think of the cats and their association. We find them in the high crosses, we find them in the Book of Kells, we find them in those beautiful manuscripts as well. But where we also find them, and this is brilliant, okay, we also have a Brehon law specific to cats.
A law.
There's a lot of mentions, isn't there,
Yeah.
of cats in those? But was there a hierarchy for them as well?
There was. And there was a friend of mine, Kevin Murray, who was up in the medieval Irish department up in UCC. He and his colleagues, they've translated the Cotchlachta, the cat sections. And if anyone is looking for a good name now for their cat, think of these. The first is called the Meown. And he's called the Meown because he mews or he meows at a great sort of volume altogether. The second fella is the Krúbna, and he's called the Krúb because he has Krúbines. He has big paws, and he's the cat of the barn, and he kills all the mice and the rats and all of those sort of things. The favourite one...
Is this one of your fellas?
That's him. That's my old cat Sylvester, my favourite cat, and I just love him. And I miss him now, and I'm looking at him there. He just had the biggest paws that you could ever see
He's
in
a big
your
cat
life.
in general,
he
isn't
was
he?
huge and a bit of a fool, a bit like myself. You know? He was terrific. But there was another other lovely cat that we're told about in the laws now, and that's called a berkna. And the berkna comes from an old Irish word meaning a basket. And this was a black and white cat, a beautiful black and white cat that used to sit on the ladies' laps and keep them warm and so on. And I know that my own grandchildren up in Dublin, they have two lovely cats, okay, that go in there as well.
Is this them?
They are, yeah. So that's Smudgy and Lola, and they're just two, but they're distinctive. Look at their white patches, as it were. So these were the cats that the women used to look after in particular. And there were other cats like the Glasnienta, who used to go under the nettles. There was another cat called the Rinkna, who was kind of giddy all the time and used to go around. So you had all of these fantastic. So even in early Ireland, in our laws, there were laws about the quality of the cats and what their jobs were and the compensation if anyone went against them and so on.
But you're even hearing different folklore stories as well. I came across one a good while ago, and it's the way, say, for example, this fellow was talking about when the Sam Maguire came in, and this old man couldn't take his eyes off the Sam Maguire. He said, "Fémar of an Catholic fiachan like the cat would look at the king." You know, just pure awe altogether.
Absolutely.
You know?
There was a great story in our mythology that you'd love. There was a guy called Miach. He was a physician, and there was a guy, he had only one eye, and Miach decided to put a cat's eye into his head. And your man thought this was great for a while, except every night when he was going to sleep, didn't the cat's eye stay open all night? And every time he saw a mouse or a little thing going by, that was it. So he wasn't too pleased after a while with his cat's eye, you know. But there's some lovely things. But just go back to the black cats for me, Mo, because everyone asks me, is it lucky, is it not lucky that the black cat is there crossing your path in any way? So this is the important part, right? If a cat comes towards you, it's good luck. If the cat is seen going away from you, it's good luck. But if the cat crosses your path and stops and stares at you, that's always taken to be an omen of bad luck. So people wouldn't be bothered going fishing, they wouldn't bother going to the market, they wouldn't be bothered doing any of those things if it crosses your path, unless it was a special day. So this is the way that you got out of it. So it might have been New Year's Eve, it might have been the 1st of April, it might have been someone's birthday, it might have been someone's anniversary. There was always a way out of it. So I would suggest to you that nearly everyone, the way I think of it is that I love cats. Cats are a big, big part of... I was going to bring in my own little cat who's called Inky, who's all black. I couldn't bring her in because... but this is what she's doing at the moment. She's sleeping and she's taking it easy. But cats are great. And I suppose people are dog people.
There's Inky.
There's Inky, yeah. And that's exactly what she's like now at the moment.
As well.
Yeah, and she's some people, she's so placid. People think she's a big dog, you know. So and she treats me in the same way, you know. She greets me every day when I come home, and she's
not a mouse around or anything. Then
unfortunately, she's a small bit too fat to go after the mice. Yes, so she can't bother. She doesn't bother doing what she's meant to do. But maybe I think it's her food is attracting the mice. I think that's the problem.
Stop. She's keeping you company though, Shane.
Absolutely.
That's half the battle, isn't
Shane,
it?
No,
not happening.
We'll see in a few weeks against Galway.
Yeah.
We will. That's nearly all for now, except we still need to find a lucky viewer for that 2-night stay in Castleknock Hotel in Dublin with